Okay, my name's Cherly. I'm a full-time artist. My passion is freehand machine embroidery, and I also paint, except the painting only happened more recently because I broke my ankle and couldn't stitch. And I also create all my own clothing, so I draft them, design them, and they're always embroidered, so that I make them from beginning to end, and that's what I wear every day. You never see me, I own nothing that has been bought from a shop. Everything I wear, my hats, the clothing I make. Drawing and stitching since I was a little girl. First day at kindy, I drew everyone in the class a horse, and my grandmother used to let me play on her sewing machine. So she had Women's Weekly, so I'd go through Women's Weeklies and draw little pictures of the dresses, and I'd say, "Nanny, I don't have a piece of fabric like this," and so she'd give me a piece of calico, and then I'd scribble on the sewing machine to make little patterns. Then I'd go home on my toy machine and I'd make up little dresses. But I have been to art school, but my whole life has been stitching and drawing and painting. Putting into a visual form my dreams. My inspiration comes from dreams. So during the day I'm drawing, I'm meeting people, I'm looking around, observing, and I sort of collect all those images. Even when I'm working, images come to me, and then at night I dream. So usually the first thing I do in the morning is write down words and also little thumbnail sketches, and even during the day I'll remember more, like a movie. And my dreams are very vivid and very visual. During an exhibition I had, which was going to be about music and faces and theatre and a festival, all my dreams were colourful. It was people in hats and clothes, and I saw music. And at the beginning of this year I had an exhibition at the Adelaide Zoo, so after spending 12 months in and out of the zoo drawing, all my dreams had people I saw at the zoo, the animals, the buildings, and then these dream compositions evolved. So that's what I work from, and that's how I'm inspired by. Challenging is putting work into exhibitions. You worry about you do worry if everyone's going to like your work. And also the challenge of being selected for an exhibition. There could be hundreds of other artists and you're creating something and you're worried you don't get in. So that's a challenge. But I find if I haven't got into something, I'll just work harder to get in the next time. If defeat it never defeats me. I just want to do better. I actually don't mind criticism. Sometimes I'll have a chuckle about what somebody has said, and sometimes that's good. It maybe puts you into a different direction because you're so close to your own work and you don't see what someone else thinks. You think, oh yeah, that's interesting, maybe I should try something new. And my John, he's probably one of my biggest critics. He'll come home and he'll say, oh, I don't think that looks quite right there, or I don't like the colour you've used. And I'll have a look and I think, oh, I don't know, maybe I like it as it is, but sometimes that's good. I'm happy, my work is happy. There are artists around that focus on the bad things that happen. I'm a really happy person. I'm happy with my life, I'm happy where I live, and the work that I create is happy, so that negativity doesn't come into it. It's colourful, it's bright, it's me. This is probably my favourite piece. This year I've been doing a journey around Australia with a touring exhibition. It meets me in every city. And while I'm in the city, I'm sitting at the exhibition and creating an artwork. So this is why this is called The Unfinished Journey. Every part of it will be exhibited. This is my favourite. This is the first place I went to, which was Launceston in Tasmania. I took a drawing of the devil with me, because Tasmanian devil, because I've just finished a solo at the Adelaide Zoo, so I had lots of source material of drawings. And these are people that came up to me and chatted to me, including my John. I put John in there because he was my support at the very first one. The hills that I saw flying into Tasmania, I was quite excited. So I was sitting on the plane, so I did this little sketch, and then that night I was dreaming my piece. I knew I was going to put people in, so once I was there on the day, I scribbled them out with my some free stitching. So this evolved as I went, and so that's my favourite. The most challenging is this one. One of the things, I've developed a whole new technique of working with machine embroidery, freestyle machine embroidery, only my hands do it. And this is my very first test piece, which I did before I started this one. I wanted to limit it to just black and white, but to show the form of and the texture and the fur of the animal, I ended up having to use grey thread as well, because unlike pencil, I can't rub it out, I can't use light pressure and heavy pressure. So the whole piece is in black and white. I had to use grey, but I also pulled up bobbin thread, the little specks of black you'll see amongst the white to soften the white in places. It's very experimental. This is the first piece. It's normal art paper. I've washed it to soften it, because when I used it initially, it tore holes, it blunted the needle, and once I created this little piece, I did the target test. So I washed it and ironed it and pulled it apart, and it stayed intact. So I was so excited. It's almost like being a scientist. I've now developed a new technique. So each one of these is a new challenge. I'm just so enjoying this trip and the inspiration from each city I go to. This is the one from Sydney with a kookaburra. I've even added a little bit of a 3D section on here. Often I have the little 3D bits on my hats. So this one is almost finished. The platypus and the kookaburra are one of the animals from Sydney, and I picked up some of the building, some of the displays that were around me. The exhibition's in sort of like a big trade fair, and so there are other things happening around me. A little bit of Sydney Harbour Bridge, but they have a dream imagery where things flow into other pieces. But you end up with the most divine, tactile piece of fabric, which was initially just a piece of common art paper, and with the hundreds of hours of stitching, it just becomes fabric. I'd say work hard. You know, if it's your passion, if you work hard at it, but also be you. You know, don't copy what someone else is doing. Try and be an individual, which is what I've always wanted, to be different. And take up the challenges. You know, never be put off by a knockback, because you might be in an exhibition that's being judged, but it's whatever the judges, what sort of work they like is the influence of who they select. And next time there could be different judges, or your work has developed because of that negativity or the criticism. It's about growing, and you have to work hard. Good art, like good love, is fascinating forever. It lasts forever if it gives you pleasure.